Coming up this week on the Course of Life podcast, the PGA Tour was in Vegas where we had a collapse and the birth of a young star as well, plus the LIV Tour up to some new shenanigans, doing all sorts of random stuff to sneak their way around the system. We get into all that. We're tuned into Derry Girls and a Bros movie review. This week's guest is Kristin Truelove. She's the wife of a pro golfer and also has a really cool account about her journey learning the game as well, plus a weird food trend and Greek fest when we always end with food. All of it brought to you by our friends at Desert Fox Golf. And by the way, Mike, I was just doing a little browsing on Amazon the other night for golf accessories, just searching for what's out there, had a few extra dollars to spend. Wouldn't you know it, on the Amazon bestseller list is the Desert Fox phone caddy. So if you don't have enough proof by the weekly mentions of our favorite phone caddy and phone holder for golfers from Desert Fox Golf, take it from the Amazon customers and the sales and the reviews. This is a best-selling product, and it is for a reason, and you can get it 10% off at desertfoxgolf.com with the promo code Course of Life. So again, it's an Amazon bestseller. We love it for our golfers and our golf carts and the safety of our phones. So check it out at desertfoxgolf.com. Promo code Course of Life to save 10% off your phone caddy today.
Hello, interwebs, and welcome to Course of Life. We are proud to be presented by our friends at Desert Fox Golf and Tee Up Golf. I'm Michael, he's Alex. And Alex, the iceberg melted on Sunday. Patty Ice just couldn't keep it together, and he shattered under the pressure on the 72nd hole, putting up a rare triple bogey for him that opened the way for Tom Kim to secure his second PGA Tour victory at the Shriners Children Open in Las Vegas. Tom Kim obviously put himself in a position to have an opportunity to win, but was this Tom Kim winning, or was it really and truly a Cantlay explosion?
Yeah, big time combo. Nice work with the patty ice melting and shattering. I see what you did there. You didn't slip that past me. Nice work there.
It's not my first rodeo.
And it was an implosion, to say the least. Rare, because his nickname's Patty Ice. We just know him as the calm, cool, steely-eyed, nervy guy that doesn't get too flustered, and wouldn't you know it, 72nd hole nerve must have hit him in some way to collapse with that triple bogey where he was literally hitting off rock, sand, dirt, rough, and all of the in between. Quite a shocking moment, and so I'm gonna go with 70% Cantlay implosion, but 30% the new young star that's born in the game.
Yeah, was this also, do you think, as a result of it is more surprising because, of course, at the President's Cup, Cantlay was patty ice as we expect him to be, and Tom Kim was all energy and power and was able to put the pressure on throughout still. So was this also Tom Kim a bit of comeback maybe or revenge for the President's Cup too? I mean, definitely.
I'm definitely riding that international team. I don't know why. I feel like this international President's Cup team had maybe the biggest moral win in recent history for the losing international cup, President's Cup teams, if that makes any sense. These guys kind of emerged a little bit better and stronger from it. You're seeing that with Siwoo Kim's golf this past week as well. He had a good week after kind of struggling for the better part of the last couple of years. So these guys are finding a little more momentum. And Kim is absolutely worthy of the now hottest golfer in the world conversation. Again, you can hold this title for a very temporary amount of time. We are very liberal giving this title out. But in this very moment, Tom Kim has won 2 of the last 4 PGA Tour starts he has had. He's on fire, and he's not even 21 years old yet.
You know, he's certainly the most popular player on tour right now. I think that goes without question. I will say, thanks to him having 2 wins before the age of 21 within, just a couple of weeks here, he is now also being compared to Tiger Woods because that's all we do. And I thought it was particularly interesting that someone on Twitter put out a list of like players under 21 who won twice on the PGA Tour. And Tiger is actually one of the older guys to have done it. There were several others that have won twice under the age of 21. most of which I've never heard of.
Who else they got in there? Who else is on that list for the trivia buffs at home?
I don't do enough research. I don't have this list pulled up in front of me right now.
Okay, right. So they're not that noteworthy. But the one that we need to talk about is Tom Kim right now, because this is fascinating. This is a guy we first knew as Joo Hyung Kim. We saw him briefly pop on the scene at the Open Championship a few months ago. And then everything has just been all downhill for him. He's been on fire, and he's been on seemingly every leaderboard since. So it's been really cool to see, because this is a very fast rocket ship at a young age for Tom Kim. Usually with the Hidekis and the other Asian players we've seen in years past, it's taken a little bit more time, but this is happening instantly for him. Yeah, and he just he keeps trucking down the tracks, as Thomas the Tank Engine would like. Yes. So he makes it happen. Yes, as we know, Tom Kim nicknamed that because he loved Thomas the Tank Engine growing up. That's just a great little factoid that we're gonna hear a million more times on golf broadcasts in the next few months. But you heard it here first. That's right. Let's also talk about our hometown guy, friend of the podcast, who we were all in on last week this time, and that was Taylor Montgomery. Not a top 10, tied for 15th. Still had a really nice week. He's still raking in the dough. He's doing great now on the PGA Tour. He's just sitting around. He's just making good starts. Right. Yeah, this is how you do it right here. It's a 3rd, a 9th, and a 15th so far in his first 3 starts as a pro. That's pretty freaking awesome. That he's approaching, like I said, that early Cam Young territory, where if you just throw yourself into contention a million times, good things are going to happen to you. And he's been putting very well, as is usual with his game. We highlighted him. You remember he won the World Putting Championship on the Vegas Strip way back in the day. So this guy knows how to putt under pressure. So that's carrying over to a lot of different courses right now. And good to see him back again on the leaderboard. 15 under par for the week in a home game. A nice week for Taylor Montgomery. Let's take a look at the LPGA Tour, because over there in Camarillo, California, Jodi Ewart Shadoff finally, after 246 starts, was able to notch her first career LPGA victory at the MENA Championship at the Setakoy Club. Had a wire-to-wire victory for her as well. And it was dicey too. Yeah. I watched on Sunday. She was up 4 going into the final round, and the lead evaporated rather quickly, but got it back, which is always the sign of a true winner, when you blow that lead finally on Sunday, and then you grab it back at the end to hold on and win by a couple. That was definitely a sign that you knew she was overdue to win. You've been on tour freaking the better part of 12 years now, so she was overdue to get a bounce or two, and it came her way on Sunday. That's right. And so Ewart Shadoff, now the second English woman in a row to win on tour. Yes, that's right. She also becomes the 10th player this year to win for the first time on the LPGA Tour. And the record, which is 11. That is a lot. Yeah. Wow. Was set in what year, Alex? 2000 and past Annika. 13. Nope. What was it? Way off. 1995. Of course, yes, the great 95 year. Who could forget? Yeah, exactly. Of course. Yeah. Good stuff. Wow, 10 first timers. All right, so that means anything's up for grabs here. These last few events for the Tour Championship in November there in Naples. That's exciting. Right. Let's talk about that other golf tour that may or may not receive official world golf ranking points, and that is LIV Tour. Hey, I don't know about you, but I'm a big fan of the MENA Tour right now. I mean, this developmental league is only paying out a little bit of money for each event, and it's really doing great stuff. And now they're in the strategic partnership with this event, this amateur circuit tour that only pays a limited number of guys an exorbitant amount of money to play less golf, and they're trying to give them some of their world ranking points there. This is such a weird, shady business move by the LIV Tour, and it just falls in line with everything they've done recently. Yeah. I was trying to think of analogies. I know you came up with one or two, but I mean, the one that is coming to my head is I feel like this is like if Burger King goes out of business and they go buy like the local burger shop and like just pretend that they're operating out of the local burger shop when it's really just Burger King, like in hiding because they're evading a tax issue or something like that. There was all sorts of ways that we were looking at this, but bottom line is it just feels like a shady business practice kind of gobbling up this smaller, completely unknown tour in some weird backhanded route to get world golf ranking points come their way. Yeah, I think what's more surprising than anything out of this is that they sent the letter to the golf ranking body and they expected an answer immediately.
it was like, give us points now. The event starts in 2 hours. And it's
that's right. Well, we're the MENA Tour and we're ready to go. You don't need to know who's behind the powers that be there, but just know that we are submitting this application as the MENA Tour. Okay. You don't need to ask any other questions. And we are going to be teeing off in 2 hours. So we'd like a nice hasty approval.
It's just, I mean, at least people showed up in droves at Bangkok to see these guys play, right? There was just nonstop galleries full of people just so excited to see Phil Mickelson drain long putts. And that's exactly what we saw all over the television sets because we get to watch this on TV, right?
Right, because it's totally on TV. Yeah, and my friends at Country Club Adjacent make fun of this. They love putting this in their videos about how everyone complains about there's no galleries and they point to all the galleries. But this one, they actually have the egg on their face in this moment because there was nobody at this Bangkok event, and it showed very, very, very empty galleries to the point where there was a clip that hit social media early in the week, and it was a Phil Mickelson made putt. And I'm not really 100% sure, but I'm pretty dialed in on the idea that they pumped in some fake crowd noise to make it feel like there was a gallery to applaud his made putt. So a very quietly attended event happened without really anyone even knowing last week on the LIV Tour. Yeah,
I will say that clip from Phil, it is kind of odd that there was what sounded like a rather raucous crowd that celebrated his long putt. We didn't see them.
Yes, we did not see them. You did hear them, though. They were very loud at a nice, perfect volume, too. Yeah,
all the camera angles showed absolutely nobody. Literally nobody around the green. So
the LIV Tour Ponzi scheme lives to go another week. Dustin Johnson won a gigantic amount of money for competing in 6 tournaments over the course of 4 months this year, and they'll be back for more soon. Don't worry.
Where the all the people that we thought were going to be in Bangkok were actually in Austin this weekend for the East Side Mini Open. Of course, we talked about that just a couple weeks ago. And Alex, you were there this weekend to partake and be a quote unquote celebrity judge. How many hole-in-ones did you make while playing this course?
I only made 1 hole-in-one all day, and it was a really cool one because it was like a gigantic uphill putt that went through a series of like pipes and inside this machine-like structure outside a bar and spit back out in the other end of the bar and went into the hole. It was a really cool one to see, and I got nice applause for it. Outside of that, there was some pretty difficult designs there at the Eastside Mini Open. Check out COL Podcast, and I'm at Course of Life Alex as well, too. I posted a really cool reel where you can get a feel for what the day was like, but I was hopping everywhere. There were 16 bars in East Austin that hosted this, all benefiting Bully Ranch, which is a great pit bull rescue charity. Helping the dogs out at the same time, playing some mini golf, having some great drinks and food. And you saw the variety of designs. I made my way to, I think, a total of 11 different designs. A lot of creativity on hand from the organizations that put these holes together.
Yeah, this is obviously it's just an incredible event and a great way to drive business into the area. But just to have mini golf holes at different bars and just kind of crawl your way around downtown. It
was neat. Yeah.
Really cool.
Ended with a live music party. Got to meet Jeremy, who we had on the podcast last week. Got some really cool merch. Actually, we're gonna talk off mic here. We may have a fun little idea for a fun little Eastside Mini Open giveaway in the future. But really, really cool event. And I encourage everyone in Austin to attend for future years and support them and the Bully Ranch as well. I was seeing all these cool hole designs, and I pitched this to Jeremy and already got the approval for it, Mike. So I've already summoned the approval that we could design a hole next year if we want to go crazy and we want to set up shop. We could have an official Course of Life stop at the Eastside Mini Open. So we've got 51 weeks to get the ideas rolling.
All right, we better get going because I like to procrastinate 50 weeks of the year.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna send you quarterly reminders on this. But next time you see funky mini golf designs anywhere in life, or you have a funny little prop that belongs in a mini golf hole, just make a mental note. We got to go back to the drawing board for next year's event. But it was a great time, great benefit, like I mentioned, and really cool to judge the competition, judge the best putter, best dress, really cool outfits out there, and a great time was had by all.
Let's look ahead now to this weekend. The PGA Tour heads to Japan for the ZoZo Championship, where defending champion Hideki Matsuyama looks to defend his title for the second time on tour. Of course, he did it at the Waste Management Phoenix Open in 2016 and 17.
Good call.
So he looks now to defend here. And what do we think? We got Xander Schauffele, Tokyo Olympic gold medalist Xander Schauffele. We got number 9 Colin Morikawa in the field as well. And you said you're all in on the international team for the President's Cup because Sungjae Im, Tom Kim, if he decides to still make the trip, Corey Connors, KH Lee, Christian Bezuidenhout, Cam Davis, Siwoo Kim, Mito Pereira, and Sebastian Munoz all in the field.
Love that. It's a pretty solid field. Yeah. The runyourpool.com preview is up. Check out the poolside post at runyourpool.com for my full betting preview, but it is a good field. Like you mentioned, pretty solid group of guys making the trip. I am looking at those international team heads again. Not sure if I like a partied out Tom Kim. I don't know how much partying he did at age 20, but could be a little tired from the victory celebration.
He might have watched a lot of Thomas the Tank Engine.
I guess so. Yeah. Victory celebration episodes, right?
Exactly.
That's right. So I like the international guys that you mentioned there. Siwoo Kim's had great form and picked him this past week. So could be riding that train again. A couple other notables in the field. I'm looking at seeing Victor Hovland for the first time in a while. He's going to be playing at the ZoZo. Tommy Fleetwood's in the field as well too. So a good little field. The ZoZo always produces some fireworks. Like I said in my article, we had Tiger win the inaugural in Japan, dueling Hideki. We had a dramatic Cantlay finish the COVID year at Sherwood in California, and then we had Hideki last year winning in front of his country. He's trying to get that title defense again, so he's got to be the odds-on pick to get it done.
So you can check out Twitter for a full card of picks on Wednesday evening as well. Course of Life 1 on Twitter. Let's switch on over to Tuned In, where we share what we're tuning into outside of the world of sports. Alex, on this show, I have said many times how great the show Derry Girls is on Netflix. About a group of young ladies in parochial school in Londonderry during the Troubles in Northern Ireland. Well, season 3, the final season, finally dropped on Netflix on Friday. And it is just as fantastic as you expect it to be. I'm 4 episodes in of this 7-episode season. They actually gave us 7 this time instead of just 6. And Liam Neeson makes a cameo.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's a big cameo name. Yeah. I like that they give you the extra episode and they told you right up front that season 3 is the last too. I appreciate the setting of expectations with Derry Girls. Nice.
Yeah. So really, as I've said before, it's a hilarious show, really bingeable, 30-minute episodes. It's on Netflix. It is one of the best comedies on Netflix.
Good stuff. I saw Comedy My Own this past week. I'm getting into the Wednesday night movie theater promotion locally here. $5 movies on Wednesday, Mike.
Nice and cheap.
Pretty hard to beat that price. So saw Bros, the romantic comedy that is a first. And that's LGBTQ cast, plot, everything like that in a big studio format. Billy Eichner, Luke McFarlane, the stars.
I hear it's hilarious.
It was. This is what I'm going to say. I think overall, the movie was meh in the comedy department, but the big laughs were big. There were 4 or 5 where like I burst out laughing times. So for what it's worth, if you're going to a comedy for those moments, it absolutely delivered a few of those. So that was nice. The thing you'll appreciate, because you remember Will and Grace being on the late 90s, early 2000s, really, really a revolutionary sitcom. The show stealing cameo, much like Mike Tyson's show stealing cameo in The Hangover, was Deborah Messing from Will and Grace fame with an absolute show-stealing moment in the movie Bros. It was a great cameo. I'll just leave it at that for anyone who loved late 90s, early 2000s sitcoms. She has a great scene. So overall, we'll go 3.5 out of 5 stars on Bros.
Okay. There it is, 3.5 stars. So that's the same amount of stars you gave to Don't Worry, Darling.
Yeah, and they hit in different ways. Very, very different movies. I guess maybe on rom-com scale, I might bring Bros down to an even 3, just because Don't Worry, Darling had me guessing a lot more. I knew exactly what was going to happen in Bros. But overall, good watch in the theaters.
All right, let's go ahead and get into this week's guest. This week we've got golfer Kristin Truelove, who at the beginning of her golf journey had the Kristin Learns Golf Instagram account, and she is the wife of a professional golfer as well. Yeah,
interesting little dynamic there. And obviously, when you get into a relationship, with a pro golfer, it feels like there's that certain inevitability of like, all right, am I going to pick this game up that my husband is playing every single day of his life? How's that going to work? What's that dynamic like? And it was really cool to talk through Kristin and that process for her learning the game. She's documented it all in a really cool way, and what that relationship dynamic is like with her husband, which is not always roses and flowers and butterflies on the golf course. Let's just say that.
All right. Can't wait to hear this conversation. But first, let's talk about the newest apparel brand and partner here at Course Life. That is Tee Up Golf.
Yes.
A surprising partnership, because I have been anti-jogger many times on this podcast, and yet Tee Up Golf makes a super comfortable and stylish jogger that I have worn several times now out and about the town. And I plan on wearing several times again in the future.
Crazy. This is crazy. I mean, I brought you out of your comfort zone. I was wondering how this was going to go. And I've done this a few times now, and this is another success story. So I appreciate that you like the pants.
The real big compliment here, of course, is that, and the reason I continue to wear them, other than just being comfortable, they're a very comfortable pair of pants. The wife really liked them on me and thought they were very flattering to me. So if the wife is all in on it, it kind of propels me to continue wearing it and to make her happy, because I am here to make her happy.
All right, there you go. So if your partner out there is into the pants and they want you to get some nice pants and you're golfing out there, I mean, it seems like a natural next equation to check out Tee Up Golf. Promo code COL15 for 15% off. Check out Tee Up Golf. They have polos as well, and a really cool selection of golf merchandise to go with those joggers. Look forward to trying them myself. But for now, you can check out Tee Up Golf. Promo code COL15 to save today. Next up on the tee from Ohio, we love highlighting golfers of all walks of life and all abilities. She's the star of the Kristin Learns Golf account. We literally start from the beginning with her, and it's an awesome journey to follow. And we have Kristin Truelove joining us on the Course of Life now. Kristin, how are you doing today?
Hi, hello. I'm doing so good, Alex. Happy to be here.
Definitely. It's been cool to find the account, and I love following kind of these golfer journey accounts, and you've seemed to grow a really nice following, and I enjoy the content you're putting out. So I wanted to introduce everyone to you, but basically let's start with how the journey began. It seems like your golf journey began right around the COVID times with your partner who plays a lot of golf himself. I'll let you tell the backstory to how things began for you, though.
Yeah, so before 2020, I had never even played a round of putt-putt, like on vacation.
Wow, not once.
I know. I'm embarrassed to say that. But then I was dating a professional golfer and an instructor, and for fun, he gave me a few lessons. And I just kept coming back, like I was hooked. And then the pandemic happened. So it ended up, the range ended up being the perfect like open air space for me to hang out and spend time.
Nice.
Yeah.
I bet you were doing probably a little bit of maybe watching and wondering, having met someone who was in golf. How early after you met your now husband did you start swinging?
Gosh, maybe 6 months after meeting him. And I really hadn't had much of an interest. It really was just for fun to kind of step into his world a little bit. And I mean, you couldn't have paid me. You can't pay me to think that I would be where I'm at with golf today.
Nice. Well, the journey's been really fun to follow. And one thing that you do definitely prescribe, which I appreciate, is the idea that you got lessons, obviously, because of who you're connected to and your partner from the beginning, the idea of learning to swing correctly from the beginning. Just talk to me about kind of your mindset to go about it that way.
Yeah. And, I think that's kind of a double-edged sword. Like it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. So it's great that I had lessons from day one, but I think it's made me obsessed about my golf swing and perfecting all of the positions, probably to a fault.
Yeah. And I probably am accused of not having enough lesson and instruction in my adult golf life. So I'm like super obsessed of like scoring and how well I do, but I probably could spend a little bit more time on my swing on the opposite end. So maybe a mix of what the both of us are doing, I guess, is the strategy.
Yeah, I think David would like it if I would quit tinkering with my swing, to be honest.
Nice. I'm curious on the course, what type of shots or what part of the golf game do you enjoy the most out there?
I'm really loving it all right now. It's kind of finally coming together a little bit. I'm seeing progress. I can personally become a little oblivious to my own progress because I get so fixated on where I want to be. But I'm kind of fine, like seeing it all come together, and my handicap is going down, which is wonderful to see.
Mm.
But I love learning new shots. So anytime we're out there, David is usually talking me through something. You know, there's so many things from experience that new golfers are unaware of. Like I might walk up to a shot and think it's something like completely normal, and I'll try to execute it and it'll feel like it was a good swing. And the result was, a train wreck. And then David is there to say, hey, that was a 10 out of 10 difficulty lie. And here's why. And he can walk me through that.
Right. Yeah. You have to have different expectations for almost every shot, which is the unique part of the game, because not all shots are created equal. So everyone, especially around the greens, can be super unique. I'm curious, what's your ideal day like now on the golf course? Having been in the game about a couple years, do you prefer 9 or 18? Do you like to walk or ride? Do you like, music on the course? Like paint a picture, like what your favorite vibe is when you play.
Yeah, I love playing 18 holes. I would actually play more if I could. I can barely get 18 holes in, though. I would say I've only played maybe around 10 18-hole rounds in my very short golf life.
Okay.
They're mostly 9-hole rounds just because of time. I have a full-time job and a commute to the golf course and all of those types of things. So 18 is great. Anytime we go on vacation, we love to do an 18 hole, like in another state, and explore a new course. That's one of my favorites for sure.
Nice. So I'm curious what that schedule is like with the travel on the road and vacations. Now, how many of them are vacations? How many of them are tournaments, or are they all just kind of a mix of the same thing for you?
It's kind of a mix of the same. We make sure to have some fun on the tournament trips, but those are also, pretty serious. But so it's maybe 10% vacation right now, honestly, compared to the tournament travel that we do. And I don't usually play when we're away for tournaments. I make sure that David has his time to practice and to worry about what he's working on, and we don't play as often.
Now, are you one-time caddy, part-time caddy, full-time caddy? Where does that relationship stand?
Pretend to be caddy. So yeah, I have no idea, what clubs he needs or that kind of thing. So I'm just along for the ride. Good, 10 out of 10 mental support, but so just kind of like a pretend caddy.
One cool piece of content that you do talk about, and you post some funny bits about it, is just the act of golfing with your spouse. So now, for me, my wife is super supportive of golf. She knows how to play, but she just chooses not to join. It's nothing really personal. Your relationship's a lot more close with it since you have a husband who's a professional golfer. I'm curious what golf with your spouse really is like. Where does it stand right now for you?
Yeah, that was one of my favorite videos to make because it's 100% true. Like I've had that experience on the course. We have played 9 holes in silence before. But we laugh about it. We understand that like golf is already an emotionally charged sport. And then you throw your spouse into the mix or your partner and who you have the most layered and complex but beautiful relationship with. It's just not always going to be like rainbows and daisies. And David and I both care a lot. We're competitive. So sometimes it just ends up like that.
Yeah, no, it's cool to follow the dynamic. I appreciate following along with that. It's Kristin Learns Golf, Kristin Learns Golf on Instagram if you want to check out more. Let's talk about some of the content that you've already got on your page now. One really cool trip. We love highlighting golf travel here on the show. And you took an amazing trip to play some desert golf in Utah. The only way I can describe it, because I went on a recent trip to New Mexico with a similar experience, is it looked like you were playing golf on Mars, but tell everyone about that experience.
That's exactly what it felt like. Golf on Mars is the perfect example. So that trip was for my 30th birthday, actually. That was a vacation one. I had just looked up courses in that area on Google and found one with great reviews that said it had great greens. We had no idea that the views were actually going to be like that until we got there. And then it truly felt like we were somewhere in another world. And I lost a ton of balls to the desert.
Yep.
Desert golf is tough, but the views make it so worth it.
Yeah, you got to hit that fairway because on a lot of those desert courses, if you venture too far off, it is just bushes that you do not want to venture into and a whole lot of other stuff. So you can lose golf balls very quickly.
Yeah, tons of rocks. You can't even hit it if it's out there.
Very cool. And one other thing that you have talked a lot about, which is a funny part of golf and learning, is the learning curve and lessons, and specifically taking in advice during lessons. I'll let everyone follow you on Instagram to see the funny bits you posted about that. But just talk to me about that struggle to take in information and actually learn things when you have your lessons.
Yeah, so that has been a journey in and of itself, because there's over 20 years difference between David and I's golf experience. So when he's explaining something, it may seem very simple to him, and I have no idea what he's talking about. I remember early on, I would joke that I was blacked out during a full swing. Like, I don't have any idea what's happening. It was so unnatural to me. I wasn't one of those people that had a good natural swing.
I guess how many swing thoughts do you actually have going on? What do you think is a good number for how many swing thoughts you should have going on?
So I would say I used to have way too many. Nowadays, I really limit it to maybe 1, 2, or 3 at most. And I've eliminated any technical or mechanical thoughts because that has never, ever produced a good shot for me. Especially on the course. And my thoughts nowadays are much more about like rhythm and smoothness. So my thoughts, like a lot of times my actual thoughts during a driver swing are relax, smash. Like that's the mantra that is in my head right before I swing.
I like that. Relax, smash. That's pretty simple. One thing that I've actually picked up a little bit, especially for my drives, is doing like just a little bit of a countdown, just a little bit of a 3, 2, 1. So that way you swing when you hit 0 and your kind of mind just goes blank and you don't have to worry about all those thoughts. So
wow, that's a good one.
It's something I've tried recently. It's worked a little bit. So maybe you can try it out and report back.
Will do.
Nice. In terms of where you're from, mentioned you're from Ohio. I'm originally from Massachusetts. I live in Texas now. So I've pretty much forgotten what the true winter golf life is like up north. You posted some funny content about literally putting on ice. What's like the coldest, ugliest weather you've ever played in up there?
Oh, goodness. We've been out there in 30 degrees before playing and just bundle, so many layers on, you can barely swing. It is a sad, grim time for golf in the Midwest, but I'm super excited. We're going to Florida this winter. We're going to be snowbirds. So that
nice, cool.
Practice.
What part of the state? I like to vacation in Southwest Florida.
We will be right outside of Orlando.
Nice. Okay, very cool. Yes, a lot warmer than Ohio for sure. You won't have to worry about putting on ice there. Nice. It's Kristin Learns Golf again. Let's get to some quick shot questions before we wrap up here. You mentioned that it wasn't even putt-putt you played until your golf journey began. What's the current, win-loss record? How you doing in the putt-putt matchups against the husband?
I think I've only beaten him 3 times, but to me, that's amazing. Like that's an incredible record for
pretty
him
good.
being a professional golfer.
David's pro. So you're making progress. Would you be on Holy Moly? Would you participate on that show?
Oh, I would 100% do that.
Nice. Okay. We'll talk about that after the fact. Tell me about your husband's game. David, you mentioned his playing status, kind of what are the next steps in his career?
Yeah. So he's really good. Listen, I'm not just saying that because I'm married to him. I'm not super charitable with compliments if I don't believe in what I'm saying, but he is really good. And he is battling it out right now in Q school. He made it through pre-qualifier, and next week he's in stage 1. So trying to get status on the Korn Ferry Tour. Mm-hmm. He played professionally. Well, he played at Indiana University. And then right out of college, he played professionally on the Latino Tour. But then he took a break for a while, and this last year is him restarting.
Nice. Yeah. Obviously the Korn Ferry Tour is the path. We've had several players on here that have gone exactly that route, from no status to the Korn Ferry, and some are on the tour now. So best of luck to him with that. One other member that I do have to mention, I believe his name is Gus. Is there any future content with Gus incoming?
We actually tried to create a Golfing with Gus Instagram account long before I started mine. And he doesn't like golf courses, golf balls. We would take him with us to the range, And in our backswing, he would just go belligerent,
Oh, geez.
Yeah, have a meltdown. So sadly, golf is not for him.
He's not going to be that viral dog pet that we all thought he would, I guess.
No, I had high hopes and it's just not going to work out.
That's okay. We love wrapping with our 19th hole question, Kristin. Let's go into the clubhouse. You finished a round and you're in at the 19th hole. What's your go-to order, like your favorite meal and drink to have after playing? Skittles and a Powerade. Oh, that's real simple. I think your husband appreciates that budget-friendly order too, as well.
So, I mean, I'm a big fan of a golf course hot dog, but I have been left disappointed by Country Club hot dogs so many times recently. I'm jaded and I've taken it off the order list.
Okay, nice. Skills and Powerade. That's simple. I love it. Kristin, I appreciate you joining. Again, it's Kristin Learns Golf on Instagram. I really enjoy following the journey, both you and your husband, and keep it up and hit them straight.
Thanks, Alex.
And we're back. Great chat there with Kristin. I love to hear another story of a dynamic on the course. Hers, of course, very unique, not knowing the game and marrying someone who's obviously quite good at it.
Yeah.
I have a similar dynamic with my wife where she was very good when she, of course, played throughout high school. And I'm pretty mediocre and average at best, I think. And when we do play together, we can be pretty quiet out there when we're playing because I don't like to talk a lot. If I'm getting upset at myself, I don't really need someone else telling me what to do or trying to cheer me up.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And she's really quiet too because she never plays at the level that she knows she's capable of. So she's also pretty quiet. So.
Yeah, because her good and what she knows is she's capable of is a pretty high standard. And she doesn't play very often. It's an interesting dynamic for the two of you, actually, now that I think about it.
True. It's very true.
So, yeah, it's funny how that husband, wife, and partner dynamic plays out on the golf course. And it was cool to hear Kristin profile that and just her journey learning the game. And she offers some very nice tips on her account. If you're just picking up or learning the game as well, really cool companion account to follow, Kristin Learns Golf. But look forward to communicating and having her on again because she was a treat to have.
Let's talk football, Alex. It was a battle up there. Not a great a week on the college side of the ball, where you only went 4-6-2.
Two ties. Rarely do I tie a bet, Mike. You know this. I've been on hundreds of games every season, and I'll maybe have 5 ties on my record there at the end. I had 2 on Saturday. Very, very strange day overall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It really was. So. You're still winning the season because you had 2 blowout weeks here. So you're still winning the season.
I am. Yeah, I'm winning. I'm up overall slightly in college and NFL. The picks and previews are weekly at runyourpool.com. So check them out there. But yeah, it was a interesting week. Topsy-turvy, 2 and 3 for the picks in the article. But I will say the college football highlight, and I know you must have seen at least the score pop by. Texas 49, Oklahoma nothing in the Red River Showdown. That was an absolute shocker that I did not see coming at all. So if anything, it was a nice relaxing Saturday here in Austin while watching the Horns take care of business. Something they haven't done in a long time in that rivalry. So that was a nice sight on Saturday.
Let's talk about the professional side of the ball. And before we talk about your picks, let's just say how hilarious I continue to find it. Let the Americans play their national anthem in London once a year when they roll in for their one international game every year. Play a game called football, which is not the football they play in England.
Yes.
And everyone shows up in droves. And yet somehow my New York football Giants won against the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, this is unbelievable because they were down and out in this game. They kind of had no business winning it. They were down at least a score or 2 for a majority, and then all of a sudden came back late, and Aaron Rodgers just kind of froze up in the big moments. It was surprising to see him not come through with the late game heroics we're so used to seeing from him. And sneaky, what is happening? The New York Giants are 4-1 now. In my world, if a team has won 4 out of their first 5 games, that makes them good. Are they good?
I think technically The Giants are a very good team right now.
Oh my God, we just got to clip that. We're clipping that right there. There it is. We got the 2-second soundbite right there. There it is.
What's surprising, though, this is what's maybe even more surprising. They're 4-1, but they are tied for second in the NFC East because the Cowboys are also 4-1.
Yeah, with Cooper Rush, without Dak Prescott.
And the Eagles are 5-0.
See, it's funny because we have been in the history of this podcast, we've actually ragdolled the NFC East and made fun of it for being a perennially crappy division that turns out nothing meaningful.
Since this podcast has started, my Giants in the NFC East have been one of the worst divisions in the NFL.
Pretty crazy stuff. Wow. Good stuff. The rebirth of Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones looking decent. The defense is in shape. Crazy times. But shout out to the 4-1 Giants. As for the Pats, nice bounce back week. This was that 1-3 must win, needed it really bad and got it moment. Shutout of the Lions, 29-0. And here's something I haven't said in 21 years. We have a little bit of a quarterback controversy on our hands in New England. I can't believe this. Is this 2001 all over again? Bledsoe Brady? I can only dream, but everyone's catching the Bailey Zappi fever, Mike. He's our young hot rookie out of Western Kentucky, played a lights out game on Sunday. So naturally, we just think he's Tom Brady all over again because Tom Brady's just grow on trees left and right is what we think in New England. Basically.
I mean, just keep in mind that everyone's going to be compared to Tom Brady, just like everyone is compared to Tiger Woods.
Yeah, there you go. For whatever that's worth. Yeah,
for whatever that's worth. That's right.
Yeah, so we got the quarterback controversy going in New England. We'll see what happens next week in Cleveland for the Pats.
Yep. And of course, your pool picks only went 2-3 this week in the NFL. You're kind of right around 500 on the NFL picks right now.
It is. So, great, not great times for the picks. One betting story we do need to get to in the NFL world, though, because it wouldn't be a headline if I didn't have a betting angle on it. Is the news that the Tom Brady Gisele Bundchen marriage is coming to an end, Mike? How long were you crying before your wife finally comforted you and brought you back from tears?
I wasn't crying. I wasn't.
It's too bad because I shed about an hour of tears, but once I picked myself back up, I realized, Mike, that there's going to be odds on who Gisele and Tom Brady are dating next as soon as they get out into the singles pool. So I naturally went to the internet and I found them for you. So we're going to run through the favorites now. Okay. So let's start with the odds for Gisele Bundchen's next boyfriend. Okay. The top 3 are all in Hollywood. And I want you to tell me which one gives you the least amount of yuck. Okay. I'm sure you're probably going to be yucked by all of them, but which one gives you the least yuck? The top 3 favorites to be Gisele's next boyfriend: Bradley Cooper, Pete Davidson, Jason Momoa. Who's a potential suitor there?
Bradley Cooper. I like Bradley Cooper.
All right, there you go. So, I mean, he's the favorite. He's at 8-1 odds right now. Others on the list: Brad Pitt, Leo, Michael B. Jordan, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Leo only dates women under the age of 25.
That's right, exactly. So that good thinking. He's definitely out. I like that. Okay, so Bradley Cooper it is, and then Tom Brady on the other side. Odds makers have the favorite as a fellow Brazilian model. If he just goes right down the same type, Alessandra Ambrosio the favorite. The other 2 very weird names: Kendall Jenner of Kardashian fame and Lindsey Vonn, former Tiger Woods girlfriend. People forget.
Well, I mean, okay. First of all, I don't know who the other Brazilian is. I don't know who she is.
Yeah.
Of the other 2, I mean, obviously I know who. I don't know. Lindsey. I don't know. I don't care. I don't really care. Bottom line, I don't care.
And the last name was Taylor Swift that I was going to throw at you, who's one of the betting favorites.
That would be a great album when they break up.
Oh, there it is. I like that. Okay, so there it is. It's Taylor Swift and Bradley Cooper are your betting favorites. You heard it here first. Those are the picks for Gisele and Tom Brady.
All right. Let's talk a little Major League Baseball. Alex, I just want to point out that all of your picks from the wild card weekend were wrong.
They were. I did lean Guardians.
Wrong.
Was wrong. Yeah.
You said Tampa was going to win. The Guardians destroyed the Rays. You thought Toronto was going to win. Seattle was able to do that. St. Louis out.
So this is a bet the reverse for me in round 2 now. So whatever I think and like, I'm going to bet the opposite.
Yeah. So let's run through it again. So Yankees are playing the Guardians. Okay. Seattle is playing Houston. Phillies and the Braves and the Padres and the Dodgers.
So first off, definitely like the Yankees, obviously. So
I hate you. I hate you so much.
I definitely like the Yankees in the series, probably prohibitively too. It could even be a sweep, actually. So that let me just get that one out of the way. Yeah. What are the other? What was the other AL matchup here? What are we looking at for the Mariners and Astros?
Mariners and the cheating Astros.
Matt would like the Mariners to get through in the spot, but I feel like the sports world is evil at times, and we discussed this last week. We're on the crash course for the Yankees Astros matchup on the AL.
Yeah, I know we are. So you're going top seeds in the NL as well, the Braves and the Dodgers.
Yeah, I mean that's what we had last year. So we're going to run it back. I feel like unless San Diego's looking to stir up the pot, which would be nice. I was rooting for my Mets, but they went down real fast. That was
they got to 3 games. They get to the third game, but then unlike everybody else, they got to 3 games. So
yeah. So we'll see if there's more Aaron Judge heroics for you in the postseason as well too. The magical year for him potentially continues, and see if he can kind of add to the crazy tally. I know it doesn't account to the official record, but it'll be nice to see some more dingers from him to add to the phenomenal season, which is just unquestionably in history. Great stuff from him.
Talk about a contract year, if there ever was one.
The ultimate betting on himself moment was produced this year by Aaron Judge. Good time.
Let's hashtag always end with food.
Yes, our food segment to end every Course of Life podcast episode. And I'll start with a food trend before I hear about the weekend you got into, which has made its way around the internet, Mike. It's very straightforward. It's spaghetti pancakes. I don't know if you've seen this or not, but essentially what people are doing is they're just dispersing the pancake batter in a very thin spaghetti-like motion, okay, across the pan. And they're just cooking very, very thin strings of pancake and flipping them over, throwing them in a bowl, and then pouring the syrup on as if it's like milk on cereal or something like that. That's the new trend that's hitting the internet. Will you give that a try?
No.
Yeah, I don't need to do that either. That seems like a waste of time because I like a nice, well-shaped pancake.
Yeah.
And I don't need to take that experience away from pancakes in the morning. I don't need to change the shape.
I like pancakes. I'm a big pancake guy, but when I am making breakfast, and if I'm going to make either pancakes or waffles, because that's what it comes down to, if I'm going to do one of those.
It does, yeah.
I usually go with waffles for 2 reasons.
Yeah, what is that? What are those reasons?
Well, 3 reasons. 1, the wife prefers waffles. 2, they reheat really nicely. Because you can you put them in the fridge and then take them out and stick them in like a 350-degree oven for a little bit and let them warm up, and they reheat really nice.
All right, what's 3? Let me hear 3.
They hold that syrup so nicely in those pockets.
Okay, yeah, you can't argue with cleanliness, right?
I know. They're friendly with that. I mean, it's just fantastic.
All right, you got me on the 3rd reason. What happened this past weekend? I put one story out on Always End with Food on Instagram. Yeah. Be sure to follow there if you're not already for all this food content, so you can see this in picture and video form. But it looked like just a nice gigantic plate of Greek food for you. What was that all about? Yeah,
I went to the 71st iteration of the Savannah Greek Festival. And so I went. My mother is in town for the weekend, so we went to the Greek Fest. First time I've gone here in Savannah, and we got ourselves a combination plate. So we had a little bit of everything on there, and also got a gyro, and then we got some desserts as well to bring home. And I'm going to be 110% honest here.
Okay.
Not very good.
Oh man, that's too bad. Is it just because it was mass-produced festival food or something like that?
I mean, the gyro was okay. It was average. The pistachio and the spanakopita were all right. They were about average. The domas, I'm not a huge fan of them. They had like Greek meatballs, which were really heavy and just tasted like meatballs in tomato sauce.
I have had those. Yep.
We had a smattering of different desserts, including baklava, and they were soggy. So it's not good.
All right, Greeks, we got to clean it up for next year in Savannah there.
Yeah,
okay, we're going to get back to the drawing board.
I mean, it got my fill for right now for Greek food, but at the same time, maybe want to go find good Greek restaurants.
Yeah, well, that's okay. If there's a positive out of it, now you're on the search for the Greek place in Savannah.
Yes, that's true.
That search begins now. So we'll look forward to a follow-up report on that. That was Always End with Food, another great wrap to the Course of Life. Thank you for tuning in. If you made it this far, be sure to hit that subscribe button right now. We're going to give you a second to do it so you can enjoy future episodes, and we look forward to seeing you next week.